Hello everyone, Andrew here, and welcome to the finale of Super Mario Land 2, where we are now one exit away from victory. It's actually really funny. For many years as a kid, I actually thought that there were only 30 exits. It would make sense, end on a nice even 30. So I had no idea, like that there were 31. Because I actually had no idea that the Space Zone had a secret exit. You see the path that, it's pretty obvious. You have two levels. It didn't ever clue in that there could possibly be a secret exit in the Space Zone, because it's pretty well hidden too. And I never expected the star to come crashing into the side of the moon. So I was kind of like, whoa, when I found out years later that there was actually a 31st secret exit. But yeah, 31's a totally weird number to end on. So yeah, we have one more exit to go, plus the castle, which is strangely, it doesn't remember that you've beaten it once you see the credits. So, like, you could just lie to all your friends if you thought that Wario's Castle was way too difficult. Because, I totally never did that as a kid. No, I totally didn't. But I can understand some people possibly doing that, because it is a very tricky level, which we will see after we get the 6th golden coin by beating the boss of the Space Zone. So let's do it. This level is very interesting. Oh, no. No! I didn't change my controller settings. I mean, it's definitely a preference for me when I'm doing the Super Game Boy to switch the B button to the Y button and then the jump button to the B button. I really like when games that use the kind of 4-button setup, like the Super Nintendo controller has, give you that option. Like the new Super Mario Brothers DS had that option, and I think, naturally the Wii U one would have had that. Totally a preference. What do you think about that down below? It doesn't make any sense to me to try and use the B button on the Super Nintendo controller as the B button, and then the A button is the A button, because it's just that upward angle to the right. It doesn't, it's not comfortable on my thumbs, but maybe some other people think differently. So this is the final level of the Space World, of the Space Zone, rather, and it's rather interesting because when you hold B, it acts like Mario is in the bubble from the Hippo stage. And that's not even inside of the block, it's just like on top of it. I'm not sure if that was like a design error or what. I could see someone like making a Mario Maker level and doing that by accident or something like that. Also, is there any reason to go through? We totally could have just flown over and not have to deal with that. But yeah, you hold A button or the B button that I just switched to float in the air. And when you let go, you go downward. So exactly the same way that the hippos in 2 stages ago, or rather 3 stages ago, I guess, because the secret stage, acted. We also have fire now, but, star guys can't burn stars. What, a breakaging of physics that would be, It's totally natural to be able to shoot fire in space, but burn stars, that just makes no sense. I mean, actually, considering what stars actually are, this whole level makes no sense, but we can burn that guy. Puff fish in space, totally a thing, although we can go through him when he's flat. That's also a thing. But yeah, this is a rather interesting level. We kind of just got to avoid everything. It reminds me a lot of the auto-scrolling levels from Mario Land 1, where you're in the submarine and the plane. Except, you didn't have to hold the B button in those levels. You could totally just operate it like it was a normal shoot-'em-up. Because, who doesn't love shoot-'em-ups? Actually, I've heard a lot of people who weren't fond of the stages in that game, but I mean, it's either... That was a really stupid mistake. Whoops! And let me guess, we didn't get a checkpoint, did we? So we're starting from the beginning. Oh man, this is a great warm-up for, what's to come on Wario's Castle. And definitely, when it's considered probably the most... No, not probably. Wow. You don't start a sentence by saying definitely like 5 times and then follow up with a probably. Andrew needs to go back to grammar school and make sure that he spells grammar with 2 A's and not an E at the end, which I did as a kid. I was like, man, you have terrible grammar, and then they spelled grammar with an E, and you look like a fool. That's a story. I mean, actually, that's kind of the story. I was going to save the story for another day, but that was kind of it. It wasn't too much more interesting after that. But yeah, you could totally go through the middle for some reason, or just skip it altogether. I have no idea why you wouldn't just do that. But yeah. Basically, Wario's Castle is a super difficult thing, and it'll be interesting to see how we deal with it, because as a kid, it was terrible. I had so much trouble with it. It's probably the longest level in the game. Like, I haven't counted exactly how many tiles it is or anything like that compared to other levels, but it's probably the longest level in the game. It has no checkpoints. It's very difficult, and you have to fight Wario at the end, who's definitely the most difficult boss of the game, so... It has a lot of things going for it, so, we might get really lucky, or we might have, Andrew, like, 6-year-old flashbacks of being destroyed by Wario. We'll have to wait and see, I guess, but, first we got this auto-scrolling level, which is probably why I always did the Space Zone last, just because I hated this level. Like, you have to have, like, extreme patience. Like, for a lot of it, I guess you can probably just... Can we just do this? Yeah, we can do that, too. So, you know, instead of floating around at the top, testing fate, like I'm doing right now once again. Like, there was no reason for us to get murdered last time, yet we did. Oh, but, yeah. So, oh, there is a bell. That's right. Okay, so there's a bell here, and I think they nicely put it not too long before the boss, so if we die, you know, it's not like redoing the entire universe. That's a... Wow, I think I got a pity one right there, which I'm not going to complain too much about. You're burnt to a crisp. We're having sushi tonight. Fugu from The Simpsons. That was like season 2. Mario's now going to die. And hey, look who it is! People who are watching this video probably have absolutely no idea who it is. It's actually Tatonga, who was the boss of Super Mario Land 1. You fight him in a spaceship much like this one, except in the air at the end of level 4-3. Super Mario Land 1. So is that what we do? That's what we do. So this is actually a really cool boss. This is probably my favorite normal boss of the game, just because it's so unique. It's not just like a typical Mario, you know, jump on the guy 3 times. I mean, we probably just have to jump on him 3 times, but there's a little bit more to it, I guess. I mean, I'm a big shoot 'em up fan, so I guess that's why, you know, it kind of feels like a shoot 'em up styled boss. Exactly like the final boss of Mario Land 1 was. But anyway, that's Tatonga. He was the boss of the game of Mario Land 1, but we just kind of killed him again for some reason. I think that was the final appearance that he would, like, ever make, ever. He needs to make a comeback, because he's totally more original than Bowser, anyway. Except the Bowser in the Paper Mario games. That Bowser's pretty cool. But, you know, typical Bowser, he is boring. But there you go. That is all 6 golden coins, and now the door to the castle is open. It dumps us back in Hippoville, and we can go to Wario's castle, but since we have so many billions of coins, we might as well play some bonus games. And, you know, we could play the 999 coin one again, but since we already did that one and completely broke it, taking the best prize you can possibly get, we might as well see what the other bonus games have to offer. So in the 200 coin one, it looks like the grand prize is a 20-up with a large chance of, you know, smaller ones. And I think if you get that, I think it's like a witch. It's just like, it's kind of like a zonk. To all the people out there who watch Let's Make a Deal, it's totally a donk. Wow, zonk the donkey, zonky the donkey. Anyway, let's get some power-ups. Let's go and fight Wario, but we still have... I was trying to select the other one. Well, I was mashing that A button, and then it went back to screen. So that one gives you some power-ups. And what could the 30 coin one possibly be? It looks very similar to the last one, except it has no 1-ups. And there you go. So we're definitely going in with firepower. So with that said, let's make our way to Wario's Castle, and we actually have 2 more colors to go, because the colors have been a very big staple of this Let's Play, and I hope that everyone has... Oh, it just kind of boots you to the door there. I did not ask for that. So we have 2 more colors to go. These are both suggested by the book, and this first one here is purely for the outside of the castle. So, you know, it's not even like you're setting it up for when you're playing the level or anything like that. In case you just, you know, want your screensaver, or, you know, like, you know how some people on Christmas Day, they put that fireplace, you know, thing on the TV because they don't actually have a fireplace. Well, if you know, you want to pretend that you have a castle, you could totally just, you know, put this on in the background and make it look like you have a castle. So that is the suggested color for outside of Wario's castle. It's actually pretty neat. It definitely makes it look very spooky, and it's like very final level worthy. So let us proceed onwards to the final level. Now that the door is open, here we go. So we could continue on to the level with that color. What I actually love doing, I mean not love doing, but what I thought was really cool was when you get the whole Castle Black thing going on. That one goes white. Or is that what it was? Yeah, this looks so cool. And I mean, it fits Wario's Castle really well. We have 900 seconds, so we actually have a little bit of time to fool around here. So you can do all Castle Black style if you wish. But we will be doing, just as we have this whole Let's Play, anytime there's a recommended Nintendo Power 1, we're going to give it a shot. So this is the Wario's Castle recommended color by Nintendo Power 0724 724 0915. has a very gray tone to it. Wario is very monotone. He's just the most boring character ever. That's actually a lie. I'd say that Wario has more character than Mario probably does, considering he's been on, a very, definitely a few, unique adventures and with his marketing endeavors and all that jazz. I mean, Mario has, of course, had some pretty unique adventures in the Paper Mario games and the RPG games, but not so much lately. And if Color Splash is any kind of indication, he's not going to be having any more interesting adventures anytime soon. In order for the Wii U to really sell, not the Wii U, the NX to really kind of grab my attention, it's going to have to do more than just have, Mario Kart 9, Super Mario 4D Land, and all that kind of stuff. It's really going to have to show me that its games aren't just the same thing that I've been playing for the last 20 plus years, and like give me a reason to buy it. Because I guess I'm just growing out of buying new installments of the same games, and I want something that really feels different and not just a little bit of a new stages of the same thing that's been done. And I swear I clipped through that. I don't know. Wario does not approve of my, Nintendo game bashing. Although I totally wouldn't call it bashing. I'd just call it a legitimate critique of where Nintendo's games have been lately. Because if you look at the Wii U, other than Mario Maker, which I think is a fantastic idea, and something which, the Wii U, it was perfect for. I think that if the Wii U had been or the Super Mario Maker had been like a Wii U launch title, and then the Wii U had kind of become the console known for having games like that. So maybe you could have had like a Zelda Dungeon Maker and stuff like that. That would have been absolutely awesome. Maybe a Donkey Kong Country Run. Well, I guess that might have been a little bit difficult. But there's just so many other Nintendo games that could have had them. Metroid Maker. It just would have been fantastic. And if the Wii U, of course, with all the other kinds of games too, but definitely had more games like that and had become like a staple kind of part of the console, and it wasn't just, oh hey, the Wii U is about to start dying out, but here's a really unique game. Like, I think that if the Wii U had more unique games earlier on, it definitely would have grabbed the attention of more people. But basically, Wario's Castle is all about the crushioning and, tricky platforms and stuff like that. As you saw back there, it was actually stepping on a certain block that caused the crushing hand to start. So if you jump over the trigger block, you actually don't have to deal with the hands at all, which is quite nice. These things right here act kind of like donut blocks. So as you can see, Wario's Castle definitely deals with a lot of tricky platforming. And the kind of wonky, at times, Mario Land 2 physics can make that a little bit tough. But just like that, we are proceeding on with Wario's Castle. We had a bit of a silly death earlier on. I know this isn't the best time to be talking about the future of Nintendo consoles. It will be interesting once they finally start revealing what is exactly up with the NX. Because, I mean, we're going to have a new Zelda game, finally. But even that, I mean, I guess it's just been so long since a new Zelda game that people probably wouldn't mind. But the Zelda game is probably just going to be more of like, collect the things, get the Master Sword, and collect the more things. Which, it's nothing really wrong with that. But again, I guess it's just more of the same. And after 20 years, for some people, I'm sure the same is fine because they haven't been, playing Nintendo games as long as I have, or maybe they just, they don't mind more of the same. But I do want to see some new things. I feel like, a little bit of new mixed in with the classic that we all know is good. Like, if they made, like, a new Paper Mario game like the old ones, I wouldn't even really call that more of the same, considering it's been since 2004 since we had a Paper Mario with partners and badges. If anything, Color Splash is more of the same, rather than anything. But I don't know. But basically, we just killed some crazy Wario head things there, and with that, we are actually moving on to Wario in his very first ever appearance in the Super Mario game. I don't even know if we can use fire to kill him. Oh, that was a really silly hit. So Wario will crash the ground with his actually trademark ground pound ability, which I don't know if Mario ever had a ground pound ability by this point in, like, the Mario timeline, or was this the very first time when a ground pound ever appeared in a Mario game? That's actually a really legitimate question. With that, though, Wario appears as though he is defeated, although he's actually not because he has more than one stage. So yeah, Wario invented the ground pound, and now he's eating a super evil carrot, which gives him flying abilities, where I think he tries to crush us, but it's actually not super difficult to do that kind of thing right there. Then crush us again. You can also stand on top of that, which is pretty bad. Didn't I just take a hit? Shouldn't I have totally have been reduced down to small? I don't know, but he takes another hit, and then he runs away. And it's really funny because if you get that mushroom when you have a power-up, it will again take you back down to Super Mario. It's really cheap. And Wario's final stage, he turns into Fire Wario. So I really like it though, because I mean Wario is kind of supposed to be like, darn it, the evil version of Mario. So it's really interesting that he uses, Mario's own attacks against him. This is exactly the nightmares that I had been having of having to play through Wario's castle multiple times. Although I feel like we were kind of playing like a stump, so we're not going to do that this time. We're actually going to do all of the effort, and we're going to beat Wario's castle without taking a single damage. So let's do that. So far, so good. See, technically I died, so I don't know if that counts as damage or if it's just a full-out death. But we're going to, not be silly, and we're totally going to get it this time. But we're going to Castle Bleck it up. That's it. It's Castle Bleck time. It's letter time! No, nobody will get the reference. Not a single person will get that reference. And now it's just Mario in a snowstorm. There you go. Castle Bleck all over the place. Really interesting note, actually, because I noticed after we played the last minigame that we had 669 coins. There was not a single coin in Wario's castle. That's a really interesting design choice. Although I think it's because if there was a coin, any coins, it would mess the background up, which we can't actually see right now anyway because we're doing Castle Bleck style, which I think looks really nice. So I'm probably gonna get like 1,000 comments of people who like stopped watching the video because their eyes just couldn't take how awesome it was now. Okay, so let's see if we can do this. Let's do that, and over that, and that. Is there actually any enemies for us to kill in this level too? Other than like the Wario guys, who always reminded me of the guys from The Legend of Zelda, Link's Awakening, that bounced off the walls. That's what those guys you have to defeat Wario. The Wario heads always remind me of. Actually, those guys were also in Zelda 2, where you could just do kind of like the downward stab on them all day, and I think they would eventually die. That's what those Wario heads have always reminded me of, so let's be very careful here. They've always had really weird hit detection, as was displayed earlier. Alright, here we go through here. Oh shoot, I forgot all about that, so we're gonna go under just like that, jump over that one, jump over that one, jump on these dudes. This was probably the most difficult part of the level for me as a kid. We're gonna skip that, just like that, and like that. Skipping everything because we can. And never anything wrong with that. So we're almost back to where we were before. Wario, definitely a very formidable foe. I've heard people compare the boss in this game, Wario, how he actually uses power-ups that Mario has, to the final boss of Super Mario 3D World, where Bowser uses the bell against you and turns into Cat Mario. I think he actually also does that in Mario 3D Land, where he uses the leaf against you, too. So it will be interesting to see just what Bowser does, in the next Mario game. I wonder if that's just the dumbest thing ever. It will be interesting to see if the next 3D Mario game goes back to star collecting, or if they keep with the whole kind of what is it called? The kind of taking the original Mario formula, where you have mushrooms and all that kind of stuff, and then making it 3D. I remember I always thought that would be so cool to have a game like that as a kid, but then they actually finally did it, and it was really neat. But now I kind of want to go back to the star collecting one again, but just not in space, because I've had enough Mario Galaxy. Mario Sunshine 2 would be like my dream game, and that would be like the best thing ever. If that happened, I would probably buy the NX, like first day ever. Because again, I mean, you might be saying, oh Andrew, but you don't want more of the same, but I wouldn't consider, something that hasn't happened since like 2002, more of the same. Consider that, reviving something that was pretty cool. Let's put a cool color. What color can I come up with to make this the coolest thing ever? Let's see. There we go. We accidentally took damage because I was trying to get out of the color menu, but I pressed start by accident, which actually unpaused the game, even though the color menu is open. This is the color that is recommended for the outside of Wario's castle, so I was curious how it would look during the actual fight. Interesting thing that I've noticed is that the fight has actually been giving me more trouble than the level, and even though we actually took damage there by accident, I managed to make it through that first stage without taking any additional damage, and we have now grabbed the carrot back. So let's see if we can do this. It's actually really great, because if you make him fall right where the Mario statue is, when he comes back up, he will hit you. It's actually interesting, too, because when he hits the floor, it kind of stuns Mario, but even if he's in the air, you lose control of the left and right buttons. Which is kind of silly, because, I mean, normally, you know, like a thwomp hits the ground, it stuns you only if you're on the ground, when the kind of rumble effect happens. But not Wario. Wario just is so massive that when he hits the ground, it completely alters gravity itself. Can we beat this without taking a hit? Is that... And he shrinks down. It's really funny, too, because the kind of small Wario design that we have here comes back in Wario Land 1 and Virtual Boy Wario Land, when you are small Wario, and he like throws his shoe at you or something like that. I always thought it looked like a banana. And just like that, we have beat Wario, and we have reclaimed Mario's castle. And so I guess, you know, it was just like an illusion all along or something like that. So I guess that's how like Bowser remodels Peach's castle so quickly or something like that. It's not actually being remodeled. It's all just an illusion. Just like how the Shroobs did to Peach's castle in Mario and Luigi's Partners in Time. And just like that, the W is switched back to an M. And that's how the game ends. It's, you know, it's actually, it's really cool. Like, you know, your quest is over. Thank you, Mario. That's an awesome game, and I'm so happy that so many of you have joined me in watching it. And, you know, we get pictures of Mario doing things that we did throughout the game. Mario Land 2 staff. Let's switch it to the nice outside colors, because, you know, we can totally do that. Let's do 7230. What is this? 7230, 7272. It's like the farthest possible thing it could be. 7272 and 3723. Just like that. That looks much more, you know, happy and endgame. As we beat Wario, got rid of that purple color scheme that Wario has, and now it's a very beautiful, happy day. Peace has been returned to Mario Land. So just like that, it's a really cool game. I think that Mario Land 2 is very underrated. It's not the most difficult game, but it's definitely worth a play. If you've never played it before, or I mean, if you've watched this Let's Play and now you don't feel like playing it yourself, definitely go and recommend it to all of your friends. I think I've already mentioned it's available on the eShop, so definitely go and check it out. I would definitely love to see, you know, more Mario games with stories that aren't just, you know, the typical thing like I've been talking about. Like, so maybe another Mario game where you can choose what order you do the worlds, and like, if I want to do, you know, the fire world before the typical grass world, like, why not let me choose that? Like, I think that's super cool. So it will be really interesting to see if Mario does do, like, you know, some more daring things in the future, or if Nintendo keeps trying to play it safe. And I really hope that they don't. I really hope that we try to see some new stuff. And there's Gunpei Yokoi, who unfortunately, you know, he's the creator of the Game Boy and the Game & Watches and all that. Although unfortunately he passed away. But yeah, just like that. And then we have all the English names suddenly. So what do you think of Super Mario Land 2? I know that in the comments people have been mentioning how much they've, you know, they like it. And it always surprises me, considering you never hear people talking about this game otherwise. So I really am happy that I did Let's Play it, and it gave us all a place to kind of talk about it. Mario Land 2 would then, of course, go on and lead into Wario Land 1, which was technically Super Mario Land 3, although the Wario Land games are some of my all-time favorites. So I could not be happier that Wario was introduced as a character in this game. And we then go on to have a lot of really awesome games of his own. Wario Land Shake It for the Wii was really great, and I would love to see a new Wario Land game in the future. So that would be another thing. Would totally make me buy an NX. And just like that, I think we are totally stuck on the screen for all eternity. But yes, all 31 exits, plus, I mean, I guess it's technically 32 if you count Wario's Castle. That has been this Let's Play. I have been Andrew. Thanks again for watching. Hope you enjoyed. And hope to see you next time, where we might have a Super Mario Land 2 bonus video coming out sometime in the near future. So keep an eye out for that. And yeah, thanks for watching, and hope to see you next time for something different. So thanks, and see you later.